Hey everybody, welcome to American Idol Unaired. I'm your host, Bennett Shear. Today we have what we call a top 20 edition because you definitely know Kaeyra. She was certainly aired and she made the top 20 on season 21 of American Idol. Kaeyra, welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Excited for what's coming. I'm excited to talk to you. I've seen, your interview, so I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. That's very cool to know that you've watched. And it's been less than 48 hours since you've been eliminated. So I'm really curious how you were feeling.
I'm feeling really good. I feel like this season was just insane. Just so many talented people. So just it was an honor to just even be surrounded by the contestants, and we've just all grown together and we've made amazing friends. Like it's just like a lot of friendship has come out of it. So overall, such an amazing experience. I'm very grateful to be a part of it. And now I'm just like excited to see what's next and excited to see the rest of the season and cheer on my friends. And yeah, just going with it and seeing what happens next.
If I'm correct, I think I read somewhere this is not the first time that you had either thought about Idol or maybe the show reached out to you before about doing it.
Yeah, it's definitely been like on my radar for many years, but I just like wanted, to kind of be prepared and know how to present myself and kind of discover myself as an artist a little bit more before I do a show like this because it's obviously like shown to millions of people. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to be, I want to be ready within myself as an artist and as a person. So I took like, some years to really discover that and work on music and, be on stages before I do something like this. So I definitely took my time, but I'm glad I did it this season. I think this season was like, really great. So much good talent. So I'm glad I did it.
Why was it the right time, whether it's something going on in your life or just, a sign that season 21, this is it? Why now?
I don't know what it was. I think I was just like really, I just felt like I knew myself as an artist. It was after the pandemic. I also was just like excited to get into, really making some big decisions. Like during the pandemic, I was just kind of like, damn, like I want to, do things right after this ends. Like just say yes to a lot of the opportunities that are presented my way. And during the pandemic, I was working on a bunch of music and really like preparing myself and getting my sound really, really nailing what I want to sound like as an artist and what that means to me, what I want to sing about, who I am, like what want to represent, all of that. Like I think it's really important, and I always stand behind like just being able to sing and like just having that talent is not enough to make it in the industry. And I feel like, you know, I'm aware of that and I wanted to just make sure I check enough boxes as possible. So I feel like I just felt ready and I know I have like so much more to like, learn and grow. And I feel like even on the show, I've grown a lot and learned a lot about myself. So now it's just like, that chapter ended, but I feel like it's just the beginning of something really cool and exciting. And so yeah, I just feel like I was ready and now I'm just ready to do more as well. So yeah.
I want to hear about your beginnings. When did you know, whatever age it was, that music was going to be a big part of your life?
Yeah, so I actually grew up in a very like musical, upbringing. My mom was a piano teacher or is a piano teacher, and growing up she had a music school. So I was just surrounded by music every day, and my parents were very strict, so I was with her at all times. So instead of going like on play dates, I was like with my mom in the music school, like bugging teachers to give me random lessons, which is why like I play a bunch of different instruments as well. So that like definitely, motivated me to be in music. I started my first band when I was 12, and which is very young, but I was like taking it very seriously. I was playing bass and singing, and like the rest of the band were a lot older. So I was just like trying to be, mature and like getting everything done and like making sure I practiced enough to like be cool enough to be with them. And yeah, and then just it kind of kept growing and I just kept taking it like more and more serious, which I always like, even when I was 12, I was like, oh, like this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And my parents like never questioned it either. They were just kind of like on board because they saw how passionate I was and like I never had that conversation of like, I want to do music for like they knew. So I don't know. I think it was just like, my life just kind of worked out to always have music in it. And it's like, I don't know, it just always was in my life and it's forever going to stay in my life. So, yeah, I just like always knew I was gonna do music and I'm doing it. So,
Whatever you were doing from that young age worked out. I mean, even before Idol, we're talking Lollapalooza, we got Postmodern Jukebox. Let's talk about a little bit of those things that happened before the show because you've had some amazing experiences to kind of give you that head start even before American Idol, right?
yes, yes. So, yeah, Lollapalooza, I did that like last year. It was basically the showcase for Chicago artists. They were like highlighting, artists that were either like born and raised in Chicago or just like living in Chicago. And I was one of those people. So that was really cool because I mean, I've been to Lollapalooza many times. I'm from Chicago. Um, so that was like definitely checked off my bucket list. And I hope like go back one day and do like a headlining thing or like whatever. But and then yeah, Postmodern Jukebox, I submitted a video to like one of their search like talent searches and I got picked. I think I was like 15. And or actually no, I did not get picked because I think I was too young, but he reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, like one of like the win like the requirement for winning is you have to go on tour with us." I'm like, "You're 15." So he was just like, "But I still want to record a video with you. Like, are you down to fly out to LA?" And I was like, "Yes." And I guess like we just stayed in contact and I think we did like 4 videos and I actually was featured in like some of their shows as well. So that's how I met like Haley Reinhart and Casey Abrams and a bunch of, other Idol contestants because I feel like that was like back then, like Idol contestants would go to Postmodern Jukebox after is like a thing. I don't know, but that's how I met like a bunch of Idol contestants prior to being on Idol, which is like really funny how that worked out because I feel like I did Postmodern Jukebox first and then I did Idol, but yeah, and like knowing them also was amazing because they did amazing on the show. So definitely like were kind of my role models and mentors during this whole process, which was really cool. But yeah, and then like a bunch of other opportunities like in Poland and stuff like that. I've definitely had like some high points in my life, but I feel like it was very like up and down and it was never like consistent, which is why I really wanted to go on Idol and like show myself as well because you have your whole storyline and although I didn't have like it's like a traditional sob story, but I just like wanted to show my personality and like my family and my upbringing because that's like super important to me and just like wanted people to get to know me more as a person as well. And I feel like Idol is just like the perfect place to do that. And now I have like a wonderful community of people supporting me and I'm just so grateful for the opportunity.
It's incredible that you had mentors going into it. I mean, those are two names right there, Haley and Casey. It sounds like you were a fan of the show and people that inspired you. Now you kind of went on. I know it's kind of a cliche, but like you inspire other people. Now you have fans or other contestants are going to say, I watch Kaeyra. I mean, that's pretty cool just to know that you kind of carry on that legacy.
Yeah, I love that. I hope they say that one day.
Totally. I mean, you already got the fans. I was in the Reddit last night. I saw you responding to people, and they're like, "You got to check out our Kaeyra sub." You already got
Yes.
everybody.
Yes. I
Um,
was on there for like 3 hours straight. It was so fun.
yeah, no, it's very generous, and it is fun. Like it's kind of addicting to just sort of. I mean, as an artist, I mean, tell me what you think. It might be a little dangerous sometimes to just like read comments, but when you see a thread of something, you just like keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and then time can go by,
Yeah, no,
for better
I
or for
mean,
worse.
going into it, everyone's like, don't read the comments, and I agree, but I also think like I just want to really show my appreciation and like, commenting back is like the least I could do. And then like especially like, once I got eliminated, there was like so many comments. So I got back to as many people as I could, and I'm still doing that because I do really want to show like I appreciate everyone that's like reached out and is supporting me. But yeah, like definitely it can definitely be dangerous to look at the comments sometimes, like especially I remember I think I was like reading the comments right before a show. I don't remember which one it was. And someone was like, "Are you really doing this before a show? Like, do not read the comments right now because you're gonna get in your head." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. Like, maybe I should put this down." So time and place for everything. But I'm a big fan of like, actually commenting back and interacting because, I feel like that's how you really build like a connection and lifelong fans and people to support you. And, especially after my like idol journey is over, I like want people to stick around and see like what else happens in my life. And I feel like that's like the best way to do it. Like the least you can do is comment back. So I've been trying to be on that.
Absolutely. I mean, especially in this day and age with social media and with so many other artists out there, it's all about maintaining the momentum, right? When you get cut.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think that's also the difference, which, you know, with talent shows now, like especially American Idol, is like a majority of it is social media and your social media presence, especially now that like, like America votes, like that's important. So I like wish it wasn't as important just because I feel like that's how, sometimes talent doesn't fully win. But I think like this season is actually like not like this season everyone's amazing. Like everyone is top tier. So whoever wins, like I got like a Reddit comment that was like, who do you think will win? I'm like, I genuinely don't know because everyone's so good. So yeah, yeah.
And you've heard these people live. You've probably sung with them, not even on stage, just like jamming out. So you experienced the music with them, either in hotel rooms or waiting in Hollywood Week. People probably that also didn't air. I mean, this podcast, if you're new to American Idol Unaired, we interview the contestants that didn't get aired, also some aired exceptions. But I mean, you've heard literally probably hundreds of people sing just sitting in the room with them.
Yeah, I mean, especially, the top 26 contestants, like once we flew into LA for the live show tapings, we were just together for 3 weeks straight with one day off. So like, we really do like we're all really close friends. Like we all still talk and it's like lifelong connections because I mean literally spending every like second together. And then yeah, Hollywood Week as well. Like it's also crazy like knowing like seeing that many people. I was like always one of the last ones to go during Hollywood Week and it was killing me because I was getting so in my head because I'm like, everyone is amazing here. Like how, like what am I doing here? Like it definitely like my biggest growth in, the show has been my confidence because like in going into Hollywood Week, even during my audition, I remember looking at my mom and I'm like, oh, do you think I'm gonna get through? Like I genuinely was very like still, like not super confident about whether I'm gonna get through or not. Hollywood Week, I was literally like getting sick because I was so nervous. Like the stress is insane. You're also like barely sleeping, barely eating because of the stress. So it's like everything at once. But I feel like going past Hollywood Week, that's when I really was like, okay, I'm here for a reason. Like time to step up the confidence. Like you got this. And then especially in the live shows, I feel like you can really see that. So yeah, that was like definitely like the biggest lesson learned in this whole journey, which I'm like glad that I kind of, you know, got that.
So is it trippy to be last almost every time and then air first almost every time because your audition aired first? Showstopper, I believe, aired first. I'm not sure about the Hollywood performances, but
Yeah, I mean, you like never know how they're gonna um edit it. I mean, there's just so many people, so it's like they're obviously not gonna go in order. It's a little different on TV just because they have like a time constraint, but I will say like the drama, the like whatever, like that's all real. Like I always was like, oh, this is like fake. Like they're setting this up. No, like it's actually all real. I think maybe they like make it like like they like give us like the fact that we're like barely sleeping, the call time is very early and people are getting anxious and like make like us having to watch other people and like all these little elements like they kind of like build up to have drama, but no, it's never like fake. Like it's actually happening. Like my family's watching, they're like, this like is this real? And I'm like, yeah, like I promise you it's unreal. So, yeah, and especially this season, I feel like there's a lot of drama in Hollywood Week, so that was like really funny to watch.
It's like there's enough drama going on in your own mind as to whether or not you're just going to make it to the next round, and then there's so much going on around you, so it's a
Yeah, it
lot
was
to
definitely
deal with.
a trip.
Are you a morning person? Because to have to film that show and to get up so early every morning to keep
Oh my God,
filming.
I'm telling you, like, especially these past 3 weeks, we've had to get up not as early as Hollywood Week, but like still like pretty early. Um, and I swear, like now I'm waking up at like 7 a.m. every day because I'm just so used to it. So I was never a morning person. Honestly, I feel like maybe now I am. Maybe now I'm a changed woman. Who knows? But yeah, I think like the adrenaline is also going. So you're just like, okay, let's go, let's go. But it's definitely interesting. Like during live shows, like we had rehearsals and we had to like full out like belt songs at like 9 a.m. And you're like, what is happening right now? Um, so yeah, it's like it's crazy. Like, but you just get used to it. I mean, you have to go with it or else you leave the show. Like you just have to, you know, get used to what's in front of you and you're either in it or you're not. And yeah, so Hollywood Week was definitely like a big test for everyone. Yeah.
I think I'm correct that your duet didn't air. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. I had a duet with Samuel Harness. He's amazing. Sadly, like I don't think any episodes aired of him,
Mm-mm.
but he was on The Voice and he's amazing. And our duet was actually like it went so well. We got a standing ovation. They didn't have to like go like turn around to discuss whether we're going through or not. Like it was like literally I was like so sad that it didn't air because of the reaction that we got from the judges. We sang Talking to the Moon. And yeah, so I was like really sad that that one didn't air because I feel like we killed it and I
Oh,
love the judges' reactions, but it's okay. I'm glad I got as much airtime as I did, you know.
what was the arrangement like on that? Was it standard melody? Did you kind of twist it up a little bit?
We really changed it up and he played guitar and yeah, like we made it our own, which is why I loved it. I'm hoping like he comes to LA soon so we can do a cover of it together, but he's amazing. Like I was so bummed that that didn't air. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I know we mentioned Postmodern Jukebox. What you did with Love on the Brain. Ugh.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so
And
sweet.
and you got you're I'm assuming you're in the category of singers where you know that like nasty's a compliment, right? So like
Yes,
that
yes.
was nasty.
Thank you.
Just
Thank you.
oh God. I also was really thinking about the fact that you have experience singing in restaurants, and I wondered how that played into your mindset going on Idol. I mean, first you're singing in a small room, then you're singing in a little bit of a bigger venue with the contestants as an audience, and then you're singing on a big stage on a live show, not to mention Hawaii as well with that crowd. So I'm kind of wondering if you take anything that you have learned from that restaurant experience, plus you factor in Lollapalooza with a bigger crowd. Like you've just had all these versatile performance experiences, and then Idol has these different experiences. So do you take what you've learned before and apply it to
Oh,
Idol?
100%. I mean, a lot of people ask me, they're like, okay, well, you did like Lollapalooza, but like you're singing at a restaurant. And I'm like, try to live in LA. It's very expensive. So, you know, it's just something that you have to do. It's a part of my story. And honestly, I love it. Like I feel like I learned so much singing at a restaurant because you were doing 4-hour gigs multiple times a week. And that's what saved me during Hollywood Week was because people were like, you know, losing their voices because they're singing so much. And I feel like something that I had under my belt was like I had to learn how to sing that many hours a week. And that's like what saved me during Hollywood Week was because I had that stamina and like I could literally just like keep singing because I'm just so used to doing that for a living. So that's like definitely helped me, especially in Hollywood Week. Um, and yeah, and then like, you know, being on stage, like it's always felt very natural to me, very, you know, I have like I was very, very young when I started singing on stage. It wasn't anything crazy. It was like little picnics, but I like always was just very like happy to go on stage. And that's kind of how I fell in love with music. And that's ultimately like why I chose to do music is because of performing and like being on stage. So, um, you know, the honestly, the audition was a lot scarier than like the live shows. actually prefer to sing in front of more people. I feel like when it's intimate, I get a little more nervous, which I feel like you probably hear that a lot when performers say that, because I don't know, you like feel a little, I don't know, you don't like see people as clearly, if that makes any sense. But so yeah, I feel like the sizes, the first one was actually more scary than anything, and then the restaurant I was staying at definitely helped me with like my vocal stamina and just being able to sing, however many days I had to sing for Idol.
Now, you would have had to see the last episode to get this, but did anything prepare you for that fly?
Oh my God. I remember I was like, I tried so hard to like stay in the moment because it's such like a intense, like dramatic song. And I remember I saw that fly and I'm like, oh my God, like, are you kidding me right now? And I just like tried to like swat it away. I think they like zoomed out when I like swatted it
The
away. But
heck?
I was like, but I mean, my boy he got it too. I don't know if anyone else experienced the fly, but me and Ian like really did, and he had it like right on his forehead. So yeah, we were definitely victims to the fly, but it's fine. Like I said on stage, I'm like, it makes for a good meme, like it's cool, but like come on, like right in the center, like whatever. It's fine. Now I have like I'm triggered by flies, but it's fine.
I just want to know how it got in, because they usually close the doors during tapings.
Also, it's like a huge like space. So the fact that it was like right in front of me, I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, but it's like some sort of, I don't know, whatever. It happened. It happened.
Speaking of Ian and all these other contestants, I know Olivia is one of your really good friends. Can you tell me about some of the bonds that you made at Idol?
Yeah, so me and Olivia, we actually like shared a dressing room during this like the live shows, which made us even closer. But we actually met in Vegas because we had the same audition city, and we like automatically just kind of became really close. And yeah, and then like going into Hollywood Week, like I was just texting her, being like, hey, like we were just always kind of with each other. And she actually like grew up in LA, and I live, so like we just had, I don't know, we got really 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 close. And now she's actually back in LA, so I'm like seeing her tomorrow, so like definitely lifelong friend. But so like everyone else, like we're just all really really close and wish each other the best, and we're definitely staying in contact, and um you know already planning to hang out and collaborate more, like PJ and Malik, like we were just talking about potentially doing like a show together in the future. So yeah, definitely lifelong friends. Like I wish everyone the best. Like I love them all so much.
You said 3 weeks and you're out there before you actually go live. Is there a lot of rehearsing, or is it just getting acquainted with the studio? What does that process look like?
So that's the crazy thing, is like you're there for I think it's like over a week before the top 20 is announced. And if you don't make top 20, you're not even like singing your song. So you've been there for however many days, and like you have like there, you could potentially not even sing your song. So it's like all that rehearsal, like, I'm not saying it's for nothing, because you definitely gain experience and knowledge, but like, America doesn't see you again. So it's definitely a bummer. And like one of my good friends, Emma, which love her, like she is just insane. She sadly got cut. And I remember like until like the end of the episode, I just realized that she was leaving, and I got so emotional. And they like had the top 20 do like waves and like, dances. And I'm like, like crying, because I'm like, oh my God, like Emma's leaving. Like I love her so much. So that was definitely another like really, really sad cut, because she was like also one of my closest friends on the show. So yeah, it's just, it's how, that's just the way it goes, but it's really, really sad.
Without getting into anyone's opinions on who gets cut or anything like that, you just can't deny that they're massive to go from 26 to 20 to 12. And I know that even just for you being in the top 20 for one night, to lose 6 contestants is a big deal.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, yeah, it's really, I mean, it's just like you're in a competition, like it's gonna happen. That's definitely a big jump, and a lot of people were scared, like the contestants as well. Like we're just kind of like, whoa, like what's gonna happen? Because we were looking around and we were just like, who is gonna get cut? Like there's no like obvious. Everyone is just so amazing. And the crazy thing about this season is I feel like everyone is very different. I don't know if people agree, but I feel like we all just had something very like different to offer. So it was just kind of like, who is it going to be, And that's why I'm just like very content. And I feel like I got what I wanted from the show. And I feel like I made lifelong friends, and even like the people that were working on the show, like definitely going to stay in touch. Like everyone is just so amazing. So I'm just like happy for, the people moving on, and yeah.
When you get eliminated, is it kind of like an all right, on to the next thing, or is there processing like over the past all of 2 days?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a little overwhelming just because you're like, I like to say, I feel like I just like graduated college and like don't know like where to look and like start and like what job to, it's just like you have like a bunch of people hitting you up and you're just kind of like, like what do I do? So yeah, I'm definitely like trying to process everything, but I'm also like my main priority right now is just like again, like engaging with fans, giving them content, like making sure that they know that I'm like still here and active. And definitely like I said, like before I even started the show, like I made sure I had a lot of songs under my belt that I'm just like ready to release. So I'm just like waiting for the green light, and like that's definitely going to happen soon. And yeah, I'm like planning a show in Chicago right now. Just like as like a thank you for, the people that like my hometown for voting and, being supportive, and definitely trying to do one in LA, and then just had a call with PJ to do something in Nashville. So like already 2 days, but like we're definitely starting to like plan, and I'm just excited to see, like what else comes up. And I feel like it's just like I said, like you just like finish something, but there's just so many things ahead, and you're just kind of like, so it's a little overwhelming, but I'm also just like excited. And yeah, like we'll like, I'm just like trying to, really take in this experience, but also just like not waste time and just go after whatever's next.
I'm excited about who you might be working with. I'm excited about what kind of sounds might be on the records that you make and the things that you want to say as an artist. I mean, those are the things that I'm thinking about. What I envision is like, do you watch the Zach Sang show?
Yes,
I'm like,
yes.
I can already see like the conversations he's gonna have with you, breaking down the
Oh,
songs in your album.
oh my God, you're the sweetest. Thank you. That's actually like on my bucket list. I love watching Zach, like his interviews. They're amazing. But yeah, like I'm just excited to, release music. And like again, I'm just like waiting for the green light. I mean, it's only been 2 days, but I have like a lot of things I'm excited to release. So definitely stay tuned. Like I'm very excited about it.
If there's any tease you can give as far as like, again, things you want to say or what you really want to put out, I mean, do you have anything kind of in your mind that you would want to share, or just stuff you may have been working on?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like on the show I definitely portrayed myself as, or like showed like the rock side. Whether that's also like playing bass and kind of doing like the heavier songs. And that's, well, not only heavier songs, but like always like adding that kind of flair to it. Um, and that's definitely going to be shown in my music. So it's definitely like a more like pop rock style, which is like how I fell in love with music. Because like I said, like when I was 12, I started like I was in a rock band. So going like back to my roots, how I fell in love with music is like how I want to show myself to the world. So that's definitely going to be like the style. And then, I've always been like very pro confidence, pro just like being yourself and handling any situation that comes your way. Like my family, we've been through a lot. My parents immigrated to America with like no money and knowing like one person, and they had to go through that. Like watching that has taught me so much. It's just like, kind of like motivating people in my music. And I just want people to like come to my shows and just like be themselves and feel good. And like I want girls to come in, like look hot and just like feel good about themselves. So that's like what I want, people to feel and get from my music. So like I can't wait to go like on tour and do shows, because that's literally like where my heart is. So yeah, I can't wait for that.
Mm. Incredible. Give me one piece of advice for any aspiring idol contestants, and then one for anyone who just wants to be a musician, regardless.
Yeah, so I mean, like I kind of said, I feel like it's important to really like understand who you are as an artist. Like I said before, it's like you just being able to sing. I think it's not enough, like, because you really have to think about why you're doing the show. Like, are you doing the show just to show people that you're a good singer? Like, sure, if you want to do that, like, sure. But I feel like maybe trying like another talent show for that would be your choice. Like, I feel like Idol really does focus on finding artists, and they say it all the time, you know, it's like they look at your confidence, they look at like, and there's people who, you know, and I'm not saying like you have to walk in and like be dressed like a star. Like there's people on the show who are, you know, dressed in like a black t-shirt, regular, like, but that's who they are as an artist. So it's like finding out what makes you you, and like what the people will you know, like really resonate with. But that's my biggest piece of advice, is just like figuring that out before you do the show. And like even if that takes a lot of time, I feel like it's worth it before you show yourself to millions of people. That's something I did, and I feel like I've been wanting to hear that, because for years now, like people were always like, "Oh, you should do like American Idol," and I was just kind of like, like I'm gonna wait for the perfect moment, and I'm so glad I did that. So I always like want to tell people that like you just singing and having a good voice, I don't think it's enough, because that's not going to give you a career. So yeah, I don't know if that's harsh, but
That's what
I
Oliver
just
Steele
yeah.
did. He waited a couple years.
Yes, I mean Oliver is the perfect example of that. I mean he has amazing songs. He's a great songwriter. He, you know, he has a unique style to his singing. He plays instruments, and he's just like himself, you know, and he's an artist. And that's like a perfect example. And even like Ian, like people, he walks up on stage and people are going crazy. And like he has his own style of singing. People go crazy for him. Like people love him. That's what I mean. It's just like, also, another big tip is just like focusing on what sets you apart and focusing on your strengths. Like, don't try to compete with other people's like strengths, you know? Like me, I know I'm okay at runs. I'm not amazing at runs. So I chose to really focus on like my belting and my rasp and like my dynamics, rather than trying to do the craziest runs and trying to outrun people who like PJ, who's insane at runs. Like I'm not gonna try to compete with that. Um like I always think it's good to push yourself, but also like know like where, like what sets you apart, what makes you different, and try to like, you know, stay in that lane. Because that's really like being on Idol and seeing and hearing these other people, it's going to play mind games on you, and you're going to be like, oh, like they're doing that and they got good praise for that, maybe I should try that. Like no, just like stick to what you know, stick to what you know best. That's also like something that I wish I knew before, because I feel like that's like probably like, you know, something that will really really help you during the whole, you know, journey.
Anything you want to plug, socials or
Yeah, I think just like follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and I'm definitely going to be posting like any updates on there, and hopefully releasing music soon and doing shows. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated, and just follow me on social media and it'll be all on there. But thank you so much for having me. Like this was an honor, and thank you.
Oh, well, I'm honored and I really appreciate your time, Kaeyra. Guys, if you enjoyed this conversation, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Idol Unaired Podcast. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. Thanks so much. And Kaeyra, thank you for being a top 20 edition of American Idol Unaired.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it.